lost in the ancient catacombs. He never anticipated discovering two breathtaking alien twins. Commander Rhett West muttered a curse under his breath as the crumbling stone slab beneath his feet gave way. His dark combat armor scraped against jagged rock as he plummeted into the abyss, the sound of his descent echoing through the vast underground chamber. Years of military conditioning took over as he twisted midair, managing to land in a control role. His bones remained intact, but his pride took a hit. "Fantastic," he grumbled, activating his armor's built-in lights. The beams sliced through the suffocating gloom, revealing towering walls adorned with strange, iridescent symbols that pulsed with an eerie inner glow. This was no natural cave formation. Running a hand through his unruly dark hair, Rhett's sharp blue eyes scanned the surroundings with the practiced vigilance of a seasoned soldier. The Colonial Defense Force had trained him for many things, but nothing quite like this. What had begun as a routine survey of abandoned alien ruins on X-03 had rapidly evolved into something far more perplexing. The chamber extended beyond the reach of his light, its vaulted ceiling swallowed by darkness. Ornate pillars rose from the floor like petrified trees, their surfaces etched with the same cryptic symbols. The air was unexpectedly fresh for an underground space, carrying a faint, intoxicatingly sweet scent. His instincts flared as his hand drifted toward the plasma rifle at his hip. A whisper echoed through the chamber, so soft he almost dismissed it as a trick of the mind. But then it came again, clearer this time, a melodic sound resonating from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Who's there?" he demanded, his voice steady despite the tension knotting in his gut. "This is Commander West of the Colonial Defense Force. Show yourself." The whispers intensified, and then movement. Two figures emerged from behind a nearby pillar. Rhett's breath caught as he took in their appearance. They were unmistakably female, but definitely not human. Their deep violet skin shimmered in the light of his armor, exuding an otherworldly radiance. Long, flowing hair of the same hue framed their strikingly ethereal faces. Semi-transparent garments draped their live forms, leaving little to the imagination, yet maintaining an air of regal dignity. They moved with a grace so fluid it was almost hypnotic, their golden eyes locked onto him with intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. They were identical twins, stunning in a way that defied human perception of beauty. "Welcome, Commander West." One of them spoke, her voice deep and melodious. "We have been expecting you. Though you arrived somewhat unexpectedly," the other added, a faint smile touching her lips as she gestured toward the hole in the ceiling. Rhett kept his hand near his weapon but refrained from drawing it. Experience had taught him that not every situation called for force. Sometimes diplomacy was the wiser path. "Expecting me?" he asked, eyes narrowing. "How did you know I'd be here?" The twins exchanged a glance, their expressions unreadable. It was the look of beings who knew something he did not, a secret woven into the fabric of fate itself. "We have foreseen your arrival for a very long time," the first twin said smoothly. "You are the first human to set foot in these halls in centuries," the second continued. "And you have arrived at precisely the right moment." "The right moment for what?" Rhett pressed, scanning their faces for any hint of deception. Despite their captivating presence, something about them kept his combat instincts on edge. There was a power here, ancient, unknowable, that, the first twin said, stepping closer, "depends entirely on you, Commander West." Her sister moved to his other side, and before he could react, he felt the lightest touch on his shoulder, a delicate caress that sent an electric thrill through his body. "Perhaps you should ask yourself," she murmured, "why you were drawn to these ruins in the first place." Rhett opened his mouth to respond, but a deep rumble cut him off. The chamber trembled, dust and small stones cascading from above as the ground shuddered beneath their feet. "It seems," the first twin observed calmly, "that our time for pleasantries has run short." "The awakening has begun," the other added, her golden eyes gleaming. "And you, Commander West, are now part of something far greater than yourself." The rumbling subsided into a low vibration as the twins turned, leading him deeper into the catacombs. Their violet skin glowed softly in the dimness, illuminating the ancient corridors just enough to see. They moved in perfect synchronization, their steps barely making a sound against the stone floor. "I am Zyla," The twin on his left introduced herself, her golden eyes catching the light. "And I am Zana," her sister added. "We are the last guardians of the Nexus." The passageway widened into a cavernous chamber, and what lay before them stole Rhett's breath. At the center stood an enormous crystalline structure, pulsing with a radiant inner light that refracted in rainbow hues across the walls. Holographic displays flickered in the air, covered in indecipherable alien script. "This is incredible," Rhett whispered, his tactical mindset momentarily overshadowed by sheer awe. "What is all this?" Zyla's fingers brushed against his arm, sending a fresh wave of that electric sensation through him. "This," she said softly, "is why you were chosen." Zana stepped closer. "Your genetic structure contains something unique, something we waited millennia to find. Our race once spanned galaxies," Zyla explained, "but Cataclysm forced us into hibernation. We have been waiting for someone like you." Rhett swallowed, his pulse quickening. "Why me?" "Your species has evolved in ways we never anticipated," Zyla murmured, her golden eyes burning into his. "Your DNA holds potential beyond imagination. And you, Commander, possess the perfect combination of genetic markers," Zana finished, her touch trailing along his arm. The crystal's light intensified as they drew closer, as if responding to their presence. The twins' movements became more fluid, more hypnotic, as though the energy from the structure affected them on a primal level. "Our species is dying," Zyla admitted, vulnerability flickering in her gaze. "And you are our last hope. But it is more than that," Zana continued. "We have studied you, observed you, your strength, your courage, your capacity for compassion. These are the traits our people need." The air around them thrummed with unseen energy, the tension between them growing thicker. Rhett felt it, the pull, the connection, something ancient and undeniable awakening within him. "The process of genetic integration requires an intimate connection," Zyla said, her voice dipping into a sultry whisper. "A merging of energies." Xana's golden eyes gleamed. "A union of species." Rhett's military training warred with the instinctual, undeniable force draw him toward them. If he agreed, it would mean becoming part of something far beyond himself. And deep down, he already knew his answer. Rhett felt it too, a cascade of activations rippling through the ancient structure. "What exactly did we just wake up?" he asked. The twins exchanged looks, a mixture of excitement and concern passing between them. "This facility," Zyla began. "It's not just a sanctuary," Zana continued. "It's a siege ship," they finished in unison.